Back with another book review. I'm Mr. Santarpia. Great selection if you are in any of these categories: a student, an educator, an entrepreneur, an artist, anyone trying to expand their mind and expand their horizons, kind of push themselves. So I hope they bring some value to you. They are On Painting by Julian Bell, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This book absolutely opened my mind, broke me out of my fear and my self-imposed limitations, got one of the phrases tattooed on me. I love this book. This is my third time reading it. And Rick Rubin's The Creative Act. Starting with On Painting, it helps you kind of reset thinking about image making and painting. And I just want to talk a little bit about this chapter on expression. Expression has come to replace pictorial representation, or the imitation of nature, as the most respectable job description for painting. So expression replaced pictorial representation. Once, painting was referred, first of all, to something out there, to nature. Now it gets referred to something inside. So talking about expression, either A, something gets expressed, literally in Latin, pushed or stamped out, into or onto, or B, it implies that there is an energy forcibly pushing forth whatever we have within us so as to turn it into physical sounds or sights. You must read Can't Hurt Me. First of all, it tells the story of his childhood, which is really horrible. So just be aware that it's a really haunting childhood story. That's what makes what he's done with his life so incredibly inspiring. And at the end of every chapter, he has a challenge. So he tells a story, he tells a piece of his story, and then he has a challenge, which is like something for us to do as the reader. But my favorite challenge in the book, he calls the cookie jar. It says, because if you're performing this challenge correctly, whatever your challenge is, and truly challenge yourself, you'll come to a point in any exercise where pain, boredom, or self-doubt kicks in and you'll need to push back to get through it. The cookie jar is your shortcut to taking control of your own thought process. So when you're in that dark place, you can reach into the cookie jar and reflect on those accomplishments that you've dealt with, those things that you've overcome, and it gives you, as he says, it really gives you a boost. It invigorates you. This book, for me, has been life-changing. Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. I don't know if it's Tolle or Tolle. Tolle. This book is largely about society being sick because of the prevalence of our ego and our ego kind of taking over. I'm not going to unpack exactly what the ego means. You can read it for yourself or look it up. The three modalities of awakened doing. Awakened doing. And those three modalities are acceptance, enjoyment, and enthusiasm. And I love what he says about enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from ancient Greek. En and theos means to be possessed by a god. With enthusiasm, you will find that you don't have to do it all by yourself. In fact, there is nothing of significance that you can do by yourself. Sustained enthusiasm brings into existence a wave of creative energy, and all that you have to do then is ride the wave. Come on. Wonderful book. And lastly, I just want to read another passage of The Creative Act because it ties into some of the things that I mentioned already. That's why it's great to have these tabs. So this chapter, the energy, one of the first words I have underlined in the chapter is enthusiasm. What drives us to finish certain pieces and not others? We would like to think that it's our enthusiasm, a feeling that wells up in the throes of self-expression. This energy is not generated by us. We are caught by it. We picked it up from the work. It contains the energy. You gotta read.